All right, well, hey everyone, it's Rebeckah Ruth. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Living Worthy. Today I have three awesome creatives with me, and I'm gonna go ahead and let them introduce themselves. So Simo, why don't you go first?
Yeah, hi Rebecca. Thank you for introducing me today and having me today with your meeting in your meeting. So my name is Simo. Actually, Simo is a nickname for Mohammed. Is I am from Morocco. If a lot of people don't know what is Morocco. Actually, Morocco is a country in Northwest Africa, East Africa, and I born there. I grew up there. I've been in the United States 5 years now and I've been modeling for 4 years. Last month, I went to a pageant competition. I am the East Coast perfect male model. I think that's what it is for now.
Yeah, I'll clap to that. Yes.
I'm trying to not take a lot of time from your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Simo. Akyra, why don't you go next?
All right. Hi, I'm Akyra. I am a hair artist in Hampton Roads, Virginia, specifically Williamsburg. I just opened a holistic salon this past January. I cater to all hair types, especially curly hair, and I just like to create a space where beauty meets wellness because I believe you shouldn't have to choose and they should coexist. I've been in the hair industry for a total of 12 years. I started in high school just so I could learn how to do my own hair. And now I really try to serve the needs of people who I feel that sometimes underserved in this area with their hair care journey, especially if you have natural hair. I also am a believer, and so I like to also spread my faith and inspire others to live their life.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome. And Miss Whitley.
Hi, I'm Whitley. Some people know me as Nabintu, which is a given name to me from a fatherly figure from Burundi. Well, he's actually Congolese, but I lived in Burundi, and that's so there's a whole group of people that know me only as Nabintu. I am an artist, dancer, activist, and entrepreneur. I'm based in Portland, Maine. And I am a model, and I also am launching Art Love Lifestyle magazine this fall. One of my biggest passions is expanding the view of beauty within the industry, and trying to broaden what our society's view of what beauty is. And so I do that through a series of message-based photo shoots, and with the markers of true beauty in sort of my view. So we do compassion is beautiful, strength is beautiful, beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and diversity is beautiful as 4 topics that I host annually. So, and I am currently holding the title of International Ms. New England, and I'll be competing just in 2 weeks for the International Ms. competition in New York and modeling during Fashion Week.
Yay, I'm gonna clap for that.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm gonna clap for that. Yeah. So I really love this group because it's like, one of the things I love about Worthy and what I get to do with Worthy is, you guys come from literally all different parts of the world and all different walks of life, but we can always connect under the banner, I guess you could say, of fashion and beauty. And so I love that. But so just in your introductions, something came to mind, because Simo, you mentioned, that you're the most perfect man.
Yeah.
Okay.
The East Coast perfect man.
And then of course, Whitley, I know about your, what beauty is yeah, so like the all-inclusive beauty, and then of course Akyra, you're holistic. So it's like I just like started picking up this theme in this group, and it made me think about. So I was talking to some friends yesterday, some other creatives, and one of them was in a clubhouse room. It's a little tough. This room is a little tough. And so I have not braved it yet because I'm a little nervous about going in this room. But it's like a critical thinking room. And they kind of put people on the spot, like they'll, put you on the stage and stuff like that. So, anyways, this particular conversation they were talking about beauty and what makes someone beautiful, and like actually ranking each other. Because like I guess if you Google beauty or something like that, there is an actual like rate, or like it has something to do with like the symmetrics of your face or stuff. Like I don't know all the details. Okay, Simo knows what I'm talking about. And they were actually getting on the stage in Clubhouse and rating each other, and like having the person rate themselves, and then the rest of the Clubhouse rates them. And I was like, wow. I was like, for me personally, I mean, I guess for me, I don't understand why someone would do that. Why someone would put themselves through that, first of all. Yeah. And so I'm curious what you guys think of that. Like, why would someone actually put themselves through that? And it's funny to me that we're even having that discussion, because it just seems in today's day and age to like water down beauty to some Google like definition. It just seemed, it kind of blew my mind, to be honest, that the conversation was even happening. So I'm curious to know what you all think.
Okay, so I think I saw, I know what you're talking about exactly. I think I saw a video in TikTok, something, social media now, videos go viral really quick and stuff like that. And actually, I don't think anyone should like rate me, or I should rate myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I am who I am, and I think I like me however I am, even like is no rate. I think is most of it is what is about in your heart and in your mind. That's what I think.
I like that. You're very confident, because I feel like, which is good. It's good that you're very confident. When I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, if I rated myself, I don't know. I'm not sure what because for me, I was like, okay, I feel like it's a trick question almost, because if you rate yourself too high, then people are like, well, she's full of
a little bit selfish. He has a big head or something like that. He feel or she feel herself,
Right. And then if you
a little bit hard.
It's low, then it's like, well, what's wrong with her self-esteem? So it's like,
like most of the pageants, I think, is like, it's kind of like, it's almost, you have to rate yourself, and people will rate you, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think is about scores, about how the way you present yourself, the outfits, the walk, and also the speech. So I think that's the way it is in the fashion industry. So I don't know. It's like including everything, the personality, and also the belief in self, and also the experiences.
Yeah. Akyra, Whitley, you guys have a thought on this one?
I personally want to know what they were trying to accomplish with that. I'm like, because it's all subjective to what you think is beautiful,
right?
Which varies from person to person. And of course, I believe everyone has their own kind of beauty. Everyone is beautiful in a particular way, and it's not just, of course, your appearance, but like Muhammad said, how you carry yourself as well, and how you present yourself to the world, and how your inner beauty reflects outside your personality. You could be what the world or society calls beautiful, but if you're an ugly person, then I feel like that takes your rating lower than someone else who is a good person and also is visually appealing. whatever that means. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that.
and I don't know if I would be a part of it, but of course I'd be like, yeah, I'm a 10. Okay. So know for yourself, like you said.
Yeah,
So
I know. I mean, sometimes you kind of like feel that when like you are around like people that you feel comfortable with, you'll be like, oh, I rate myself 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
right.
Yeah,
But
or that day when, like, you're wearing that outfit that fits just right, your makeup
yeah.
is, and I'm like, yeah, girl. But then there's other days where I'm like, if you rate me today, it might be a little lower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that I'm on a sliding scale score from day to day, just kind of like what you said. But as far as within the fashion industry, that's sort of a big part of, for me, why I decided to take on the challenge of doing a pageant, is because I've always historically been sort of not sure how I felt about that industry, and judging based off of physical beauty. But I chose to see it as an opportunity because I was recruited completely unexpectedly into pageantry, and a more conservative pageant at that. Initially, I competed in the Mrs. America, Main America pageant. But I chose to take it as an opportunity, as a way to sort of get into the system, see more about what it's like, get to know some of the people, and then start sort of questioning what beauty means to people, and what we are really judging within that. And I do see hope within it expanding, and what I've seen already, just within a couple years of doing this, and how challenging people's thoughts around things can actually be extremely beneficial on a local, and then that ripples out to a bigger level. But I think it's good for us all to be questioning this. And I completely think, it's like, yeah, what does beauty mean to you? And for me, just like you guys said, I think it's like overall confidence, like how you carry yourself, how you interact with people in the world, what mission you bring, and how are you living out your purpose in a way. And so I see that also reflecting within the pageant industry, at least the system that I'm in right now. They are looking at a more well-rounded beauty. And so I do see it moving in that direction. And so that gives me hope. And also a little bit within models. I still think we have a long way to go, though, as far as like fuller representation of all sorts within the fashion and beauty industries.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, yes, thank you for sharing, Whitley. And I know, like, we have a lot of conversations about, like, first of all, let me rewind a little bit, because, I agree with you. The fashion industry has come a long way. I will say that. Yeah. We have come a long way. However, yes, there is still we still have so much longer to go. Like, I know a model, a Black model down in Tampa, and she loves using her natural hair. That's kind of like part of her platform, is her natural hair. And she still has a really tough time in Tampa with that, with people wanting to work with her natural hair out and things like that. Not having people showing up at her photo shoots and stuff who know how to work with the natural hair, not having makeup artists there who know how to do makeup for, a Black woman. So it's just, she really, like, that is really her fight down in Tampa and her platform. So it's like, I am really happy about how far the industry has come, and, as far as size, race, and all of that good stuff. Hair, which I never thought hair would be such a thing, but it is. But yeah, I feel like, we still have a long way to go still. But speaking of hair, Whitley, when I first saw your picture, I thought it was really cool that you had, okay, are they dreads? I don't know all the right terminology. So you and Akyra.
I call them locks.
Locks.
But yes, that was a big part of why it was kind of a big shock to me to be recruited. I honestly don't think that they totally knew when they recruited me, because some of my photos, it's not totally sure, but I've had a lot of, I mean, I see that playing out on many levels, especially with women and people of color, but also, you know, just in general, having locks, there's a lot of stigma and stereotype around it, and that impacts, you know, all types of people. I mean, on a number of different levels. I won't totally dive into that. I mean, I could, but yeah, I could if you want me to. Well, I mean, as far even like targeting from police officers, you know, it's like from a number of different levels, I get questioned on my sobriety, on my, you know, a whole bunch of things just based off of stereotypes around hair. And I think, and that happens on like, you know, to pretty much to anyone that has locks, I completely believe. So, and it's even harder if you're a person of color and you're fighting racism on top of the stereotypes around it, which also are rooted in racism themselves. So, so I think that there's just a lot, I think there is a role for me to play in showing that, because my hair is naturally matted together my whole life since I was a child. And I have a number of different reasons why I chose to lock my hair, from spiritual decisions as well as practical, and like traveling a lot in different places. It's practically, like on a practical level, easier for me because my hair just within 10 minutes will lock, like detangling it. But I think that, I mean, locks, I think natural hair of all sorts is so beautiful and underrepresented and undershown. And I mean, sorry, Akyra.
It's okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to read your name on the screen. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You would have so much to speak on that, like as a natural hairstylist and what you represent. Like you must, that has to be like a huge part of your core mission. Just from what the little bit that I heard about from you.
It is. I really am a champion for people who want to embrace their natural hair, no matter what hair type that is. And it's, I feel like it's a thing that isn't talked about enough, but it is an essential part of, you know, who you are as a person, because it's attached to you, and how you style it represents, you know, who you are, pretty much a way to express yourself, just like clothes that you wear and the makeup that you choose to wear, and you know, the way we adorn ourselves is part of that. So I hate when people feel like they have to make their hair conform or beat it into submission to you know, to be acceptable in their place where they dwell or wherever they work, or, you know, to be accepted. It's, you know, it's not right, because this is your hair. The way it grows out of your scalp should be should be acceptable, and the way you choose to wear it should be acceptable. It's because we have to respect others' decisions on how they choose to represent themselves or how they choose to show up. So, you know, hair shouldn't be any different. And I imagine that you get so many questions because, you know, I can say I don't see many women who are not of color who have locks. So I think it's great that you've accepted the natural way your hair wants to be. It wants to match. So we're going to roll with it. I like it. looking at you on video, I would have never, I can't tell that you even have locks. It looks amazing. It looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people don't know until they see me in person. They're like, oh, and but yeah, I'm 100% supportive of, 1,000 times supportive of what you're doing, because it's so important, and like, especially, with
I love what you're doing too, because you're bringing something totally different to your space of pageantry. I know they're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
They definitely
about that.
are, and
yeah, that's
awesome.
that's what got me the first time. Like, I saw a picture of Whitley, I was just like, oh, she has locks and she's not Black. Wow. And it looks good.
Pageant queen.
And she's a pageant queen. I was like, really? Like, they're okay with that?
But the fact that you even have to be like, wow, they're okay with that. It's like,
that's true. Right. That's the part.
Well, that's exactly it.
But at the same time, it's like, for me, I'm like, I root on all champions, right? So it's like, all right, it's sad that we even have to say, or we have to, make that statement. They're okay with that. But at the same time, I'm like, they're okay with that. So now she's building a platform where she can talk about this and she can showcase this and things like that. You know what I mean? And, so it's kind of like, you got to take the wins where they come sometimes. And, that was one for me, but I was like, okay.
Well, speaking of that, though, I mean, this is a problem everywhere, all around the US, is people not being able to get jobs because of their natural hair texture. Yeah. I mean, 43 states out of this nation allow discrimination based off of natural hairstyles and textures.
I didn't know that many.
Yeah, there's only 7 that have passed the Crown Act so far. So, and that's really the only thing that we have right now, because of that Supreme Court case that said that you could discriminate based off of hair textures and styles. So, and for me, even when I had talked to my former employer, boss at the Red Cross that I met, and they at first told me I could not lock my hair, and I had to point out how racist that was. Mm-hmm. And like, would you ever say that to a person of color? And if you did, that's wrong, sort of like, that is the mentality that that everyone is fighting against. And it's way worse for people of color than it is for me. Right. Because I was able to stand up, and she still didn't hold that. She still said I couldn't lock my hair at that time. And then she passed on, and I just did it with the new manager, and then had them change their policy.
That's great.
And so there are things on a local level, I think, that people can be doing on smaller levels, like within your own organization. But I mean, there's so many cases all the time that come out about people who are being discriminated against for employment, specifically around their natural hair.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Simo, I mean,
I don't think, like, actually, as I'm speaking as a male, I never had an issue with like anyone. I got discriminated because of my hair, of my like growing a beard or anything like that. But I mean, it is with females more than males in the fashion industry, or like probably with also, like, as a Muslim, I'm speaking, like, I had I've been modeled with like a Muslim girls too. So sometimes they don't want them to be wearing like hijab, or like they want them to have like their hair out, or like they have to put a lot of makeup on them and stuff like that. And most of the designers, they design some clothes that they need to not have like something in your head, or like hijab for girls in their head or something like that. Which actually is wrong, because as like dress or something like that is, I think it will still look beautiful. Doesn't matter if her hair is out or not out, or like she puts a lot of makeup or not, because actually we are, as a models, is more, we should actually, as a models, we should look more natural. So that's what I think.
So it's cool that you're bringing the hijab, but have you ever experienced any kind of like discrimination as a male model? I mean,
I haven't actually, personally, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't. So, but for other
But
male, yes, it's like a lot of people that they need a certain look, certain height, and stuff like that. So if a model is like a little bit short, something like that, they will give the opportunity more to tallest models and stuff like that, and also the walk and is a lot. They take a lot is like specific need. They look they specifically look for some stuff. So
right.
which actually I think everybody have a beauty. Everyone is like got something special about them. So yeah, and I think for me, I think is anyone could model. A lot of people could model. Everyone could model, even if just for fun. Yeah, it is a fun thing actually. So I think everybody should try, and I think they should give opportunity to everybody.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I'm literally seeing all different spectrums now on the runway in print.
Yeah.
What's her name? Iris Apfel just turned 100 and she's still, doing like ad campaigns and things
Yep.
like that. So I'm kind of like, yeah, like, at this point, there's no reason why, someone can't do something.
Model, do something.
Yeah,
Yes.
model if they really want to. Um, you know, so which is again pretty amazing. Yes, there's still gaps, but it is pretty cool that we can say that. But I did want to go back to the hijabs because
Yeah.
couple of things with that. One, I did want to ask, so like the female, female Muslim models, it's interesting to me that they make them take it off. First of
Yeah.
all.
Most of like designers, because it's a lot of designers, they want to show their dress with like, because most of people they wear dresses with hair with their hair showing up, so they want to show the dress how it's gonna look of the most people. But like in United States, I don't think it's a lot of people like wearing hijab, so the designers, they go for the look that most of people want to see. You know what I'm saying? So they want to show how the dress look with the hair already done.
Right.
So that's what I think in their minds, that like I want to show my dress with a hair done, so people can more look see the beauty in the dress with the hair done. Then because a lot of designers, they don't think that's, if someone covering their heads or like wearing a hat or something like that, they don't think that is not gonna match the dress. The color is not gonna be like, yeah.
That's so
It
like
is. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
A
very
lot of times, like I'll be having even a hat or something like that, and I like the hat, but they'll be like, "Oh no, I don't want you to wear a hat. I want you without a hat." Or like, "I
right.
want you
Yeah.
like this
It's
or
just interesting to me because models, like fashion models, their job is to showcase the clothes. So
yeah,
unless like there's a certain hair piece or something, that goes with the look, it's interesting to me. Like to me, on the stylist side, I would almost welcome it because then
yeah,
it's like, you know what? We're not even
something
focused
different.
on up here and it's different, right? It's
Yeah,
something different
something
and
different.
everything. And then now the focus is just on what you're actually wearing.
Yeah.
So it's like I would almost like have the opposite reaction to it,
Mhm.
besides the fact that I would want to respect your religion anyways.
Oh,
But
thank you.
right.
like I would almost welcome it because it's like,
Yeah, I
okay,
mean, is it?
Yeah, embrace it.
Yeah,
right.
that's why you don't see a lot of like Muslims models like that. They are really professional models that wearing hijab and stuff like that, because they could not compete,
Mm, yeah.
and I don't think they will, because we know in the fashion industry that it is a little bit. I'm sorry, it's a little bit picky.
Oh, you can say it,
Actually, it's a
Tell
little
you.
bit picky. Which is like said, it's getting better. It's getting better because like I think 7 years or like 8 years ago, you cannot find the perfect clothes.
Oh
in
yeah, like
runway,
not even that long ago.
if I'm right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's getting better actually. It's getting a lot better. So now you find like a curvy, you find like younger ages, like under 16. You find a lot. Yeah, it's getting better. We're getting in there.
Yeah.
It's slow, but it is coming.
Well, the hijab, there actually are quite a few hijab designers coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in DC Fashion Week. I
Yeah.
had one of my friends. She's a Muslim, and she been there. But I know it is hard to dress
Yeah.
up for a lot of designers because you can find some girls girls models that they would dress up for almost most of the designers or all of them, and some of them dress up for just two or three.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it. Yeah, there was I don't know if y'all watch Next in Fashion. It's on Netflix. But anyways, one of the designers, all of her designs were modest and with the hijab and everything like that because she was Muslim, and I thought that was pretty cool to see that and to see that they embraced it, and she worked it in, and I think she came pretty far.
Yeah.
She was in the top 5 or something like that, right? Like she went pretty far in the competition with her design. So I thought that was really cool. Somebody else who is Muslim and who I think does fashion really, really well. She is the second lady of Ghana. So she's the vice president's wife. They're Muslim, and she is always, covered and very modest, but like impeccable fashion. Her hair is always covered and everything like that, but just amazing, how she's able to create these fashionable looks, but still, respect her religion with the modesty and everything like that. So I always tell people, like, look her up because I just think it's amazing how she does it and everything like that. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So
I wish I can see more people like it doesn't matter religion and stuff. I wish I can see more like really religious people and stuff like that in the runway show, in modeling or like designing or stuff like that, because that's what open other people to understand more the religion or the culture or stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, then it goes back to, Whitley's message of inclusivity and everything like that, 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 like, at the end of the day, everyone, should feel like the way they show up is okay. And the way they show up, and then I don't know all the different religions and all that, I know a lot of, they have certain rules and everything for modesty. So I don't know all that, but I mean, wouldn't it be cool though, if like within the parameters of your religion and your beliefs, you were able to, have a little bit of fun with fashion and things like that, like, I don't know how far they let you go in some situations, but I just think that would be so cool to see that, to see that representation on the runway. And like, yes, I'm Muslim, or yes, I'm Jewish, or whatever it is, but I can
there will be something new. And really, I think it would be awesome too. I think it would be fun to watch, fun to see.
Ooh, people want to see themselves, in marketing and fashion. And I know from a business standpoint, a lot of the marketing comes into play because they want to see their target market to be able to visualize themselves in that piece of clothing. And so that's who they cater to. But I mean, that we need to let's widen that. Let's, cater to more people, because they do want to see themselves, and they'll discover a new demographic that may love what they have to offer, their design, their fashion, their style. So you kind of miss out on a lot of business and more visibility when you don't have more inclusivity in your brand.
That's very true. Yeah.
I
feel the same way whenever there's a collaboration with, like, is Cole still a thing?
Yes. I got a Cole.
Me too.
I honestly don't know. That probably sounded really snobby, but I was just like, is it?
Maybe I'm not stylish enough. Like I gotta go. Because it's all fashion people. So I'm like, wait a minute.
So like whenever I see like collaboration with someone like with Kohl's or Target even or things, I'm like, okay, smart, good job. Because you know, your high-end stuff is great. I love it. But I'm not gonna go out and buy a $600 shirt every day. Like, you know, we're not doing that. So, you know, I was like, it's very smart for someone like Victoria Beckham, for example, to collaborate with Target, because now, oh, okay, I have a Victoria Beckham, which I never bought one, but I couldn't afford to buy a Victoria Beckham shirt.
I love Target collabs. They're great.
Yes, my friend and I were just talking about Target collabs the other day, because I'm like, when was the last one they had one? What did I just say? The last time they had one. Like, we couldn't remember the last collab they did. And I was like, well, it's time for a new one, I think. And who was it that I was saying I wanted them to collab with? I can't remember the designer now, but I love those collabs when they do them. I never buy them, but I love looking at them. You know what I think it is? I think it's mental. I think I like the fact that it's accessible.
Yeah.
It's not like, ooh. Well, Isaac Mizrahi was the first one. So it's like, ooh, Isaac Mizrahi, but yeah. I think that's really what it is. It's just like, it's accessible, but yeah, I'm probably still not gonna do it. But yeah. But no, like that's a really great point that you bring up, Akyra. Just like, yeah, from a business perspective, it's extremely smart. And then the thing is that demographic, the everyday people, we're the ones who are posting on our Instagrams and our, you know, whatever, like, you know, we're the ones posting all of that. So we're the ones doing additional like brand representation for them a lot more, you know, like, I don't know, celebrities, when they go out and they buy a, you know, Victoria Beckham dress, they're not necessarily like posting 500 pictures. And if they are, they're not necessarily like tagging Victoria Beckham and all this stuff. So it's like, it's a continuous like domino effect when you can make your clothes accessible to like the everyday person. So yeah, it's very, very, very smart and very great point that you bring out there. But yeah, I love this conversation. I feel like this is an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah, it's definitely an ongoing conversation, because I feel like almost daily I have a conversation, or I'm brought into a conversation about this topic, and it always bugs me that we still have to have this conversation. But I have to say, continuation to the Clubhouse story. So apparently there's a lady in there who's kind of a little rude, and besides the fact that you're rating each other, but she was a little rude and kind of just, you know, and my friend who was in there was getting a little irritated with her and was, you know, kind of getting to the point of having to tell her to chill out. And then someone on the side sent him a message and was like, hey, I think there's something going on with this lady today. As it turns out, she ended up being suicidal. And I was like, see, that's why these types of conversations are so like dangerous, and just like, why, you know? Because, and they ended up getting her help and all of that, and you know, connecting her with like the suicide hotline and everything like that. But it's just like this is why those conversations, first of all, I feel like they're not conversations that you have without I would probably say sufficient resources involved, you know, within the group or something like that. But when he said that to me, I was like, yeah, I mean, of course, like, she's probably not the only one in the group who was feeling things. And then on top of that, you're sitting there basically telling her that she's not the 10 that she thinks she is, and things like that. So I'm like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I could go on and on about it because it bothered me that much. This conversation, especially then to hear that someone in the group was, you know, going through some things, and the Clubhouse she decided to join that day. and interact with. So I think it's just really, really important for those of us who are in the industry and who have positions, platforms, whatever you want to call it, where we can send this message. I think it's just really important that, and I feel like it's also just our responsibility at this point to, to speak up, to say something, and advocate, I would say, is probably the word that comes to mind. So that's my soapbox.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're probably gonna wrap up here soon, but I think I like to kind of close out with something, I call it a heart thing from everyone. That's my little saying there. So Whitley, I'll start with you. So we know your platform. I'm sure they know by now too. I've spoken to you quite a few times now, so I know your heart. So as far as like in terms of this conversation that we've had today and things like that, like what are kind of like, your thoughts? And if you were speaking to a creative, a fashion creative, someone just starting in this industry, like what would be kind of your words of wisdom?
I would just say to embrace your most beautiful and unique, authentic self, and just keep living that out no matter what kind of feedback you get from that. Just because, I mean, especially in this industry, you're going to get a lot of rejection, and you're going to see a lot of what could be perceived as failure. But still, every time you show up as your most beautiful and unique and authentic self, confidently, you are making an impact on that audience, whether you fully understand it or they fully understand it yet or not, just by being there and being in the industry. So I would say, if you don't feel like you're represented, like show up and represent. And just be confident in yourself, or because representation and inclusion is so important. And I think that now is a time where we're moving forward and we're seeing some advances within those areas. So it's a time to show up and just keep trying, at whatever you love doing, really.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Akyra.
I would say embrace the uniqueness about yourself. Show up as yourself and not someone you want to be like. While it is great to glean from others, you have this internal thing that is special about you that the world needs to see. You can't show up as someone else every day. Show up as yourself.
Yeah, it gets pretty tiring too. Trying to show up as someone else.
Does.
What about you, Simo? I've been calling you Simo. Do you want to be called Mohammed or?
No, I mean I like both names.
Okay.
Actually, my nickname is, most of like my close friends call me Simo, is like Mr. Mo. So that's what it is. So yeah, doesn't matter to me actually. So what I want to say is, actually, for any person that thinking about coming into the fashion industry as a designer, I think they should embrace their ideas and just put whatever they think about, and don't be scared if like you're gonna sell a lot of outfits or not. It just is about having fun and enjoy your ideas, and also try to send the messages to people, because there are some people out there, they are looking for that kind of how I would call it, like kind of arts or something like that. People that they will buy something that has got a message in it. So I think, and most of the models like to wear this kind of clothes. They want someone to understand their style, and how I said, they want a messages, even in clothes, even in whatever it is. It's just something that's is make you special. Just put your ideas in your design and don't care about others' opinions.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that message. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you to the three of you for joining me and for chatting and for being open and transparent. It's always cool when when people openly share, and
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I love that. So thank you all so much.
Thank you for
Thanks for
having us,
having
Rebeckah.
us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's always nice talking to you.
Always nice talking to you too, Simo.